Hello, tubers and tubettes. My name is David, and I live up in Northern California, and I love California. I love my job. In fact, I'm on my way now. I'm going to meet with a person. It's kind of a way to I feel like I'm a professional visitor. That's what I am. I don't need as much money as I did when I was younger and we were raising kids and I was paying for college tuition and all this stuff. So I think more and more of my money will be able to go toward finishing out my projects. I probably have, like I said, 6 projects that I want to do. One of them is turning my van into a 4x4 van, which they're working on that. I have the money set aside for that. Then after that's done, I'm going to take the bubble top that I ended up getting for it, and I'm going to raise it and put a frame underneath it. So that'll be step 2. And then I'll probably finish out a lot of the interior myself with, help of other cabinet makers and stuff. And then the second project I have after that would be to finish my 75 cab over truck, which is supposed to have a skirting all the way around it. And then we're gonna make stacks so that the exhaust goes out like a semi truck. And then I have to do something with the engine, it has just like an old carburetor on it, and I want to put an Edelbrock carburetor on it, and it'll make it just run so much better. That would mean if I'm not going to change out that engine, if I'm going to change out the engine, if I'm going to keep the engine, then I would go fuel injection on it. It replaces the carburetor, but it'll be fuel injection. It'll adjust to altitude, so if I drive it up to Tahoe, it'll lean it out so it doesn't run rich when it's at higher altitudes. But if I am going to change the engine, then at the minimum I would put an Edelbrock carburetor on it, which is like $600, but let's just say $1,000 with the labor. But one of my things that I would like to do on that project is I would like to, we have a Ford F450 that has a 2000 year 7.3 diesel engine in it, and my truck is a 75 Ford. So it would be great to convert my engine transmission. I'd go from a 5-speed to an automatic. I'd go from a 2-speed rear end to a single speed, and then all of the brakes and the hubs and everything will be modernized to a 2000. So it would be 2-wheel drive still, but I have ability to get that truck, and the truck would be about $6,000, and then to convert it would be around $8,000 to move all that engine and both axles over to the truck. It'd also make it a lot easier for finding wheels, because my truck right now has split rims, and we had to replace the brakes on it, and it was a nightmare because it's a 1975. So that's like my second project. I have a third project, which is the 1957 GMC that had a front end collision that I ended up buying, and so I want to get that thing running. I have to straighten out a little bit on the frame rails. They're just at the very front of it, but it's not, it didn't bend the frame, but it damaged the whole front end. And then it's got a very unique engine. It's a 454 LS6 engine mounted to a turbo 400 transmission with a gear splitter on it. So I want to get all that running, take that in, get it running, which is, they're really good at that, doing that. And then I need to take that one to a painter, and I want them to paint the whole interior of the engine bay, because it was painted before, but it wasn't a very good job because they're painting it with the fenders and everything on it. Right now I have the fenders and everything off of it, so that would be a great time to go in there, and after I get the engine running, going in there and being able to paint everything up. And then we'd be pulling off of the, I have to readjust the doors, I have to replace a broken window, I can put my new fenders on there and my restored hood on there, and then I have the whole bumper system that can go on there, and I've got a new radiator, a dual fan aluminum radiator, so that has to go on there. So that's another project I have. After that, I still have my little coupe project, which is an amphibious all-terrain vehicle. That one I want to put a Honda engine in it, and it doesn't have to be very big, like 7 or 8 horsepower because it's geared so low. Then I want to pull it apart, weld up all the holes on it, and then have it powder coated original, probably yellow, or it may go military. You know, I may go like a green or a blue gray, similar to an Amazon truck, because that's kind of what the Navy used to have as colors. So that one is another project. Another project I have is 1929 Ford Model A Woody. So I have a 1960 Willys chassis that's a 4x4 with a C4 automatic transmission, and it's got the transfer case and everything bolted to it. And then I have a flathead Ford engine that I would love to put in there. I've got to install the Ford engine, so get everything set up, and then I've got to set the radiator for the Model A, which is almost between the two front tires. That means that the engine, transmission, and even drive shaft will have to be modified, and also the front drive shaft, and it has to be moved back so that it can accommodate that. So I'll probably get the front cowling, the firewall, for the Model A, so I'll know how far that engine has to move and what it has to do to clear the firewall. But they do make firewalls that are recessed, so I can get a big V8 moving it back like that. And that would be another project I have. And then my other project I have is 1966 Batmobile. I've got all the fiberglass, the windshield, I've got a lot of the parts that I need to turn a 1953 Ford pickup truck I have that's sitting on a 1975 Lincoln Continental chassis, that's why I bought that Ford, is because of the Lincoln chassis. I can verify it because the wheelbase on it is 127 inches, and it's a pre-smog, meaning that it has a 460 engine in it, but no smog pump. So that is a powerful engine, and that one actually has a C6 transmission. So that's a super heavy-duty transmission. It can take the horsepower. So that would be my other project. And then one I don't know if I'll ever get to, but my plan is to get to it, is I have a Lamborghini Murcielago LP640 kit. I have a fiberglass body for a kit car, which it looks really good. When you see it, you're like, oh my gosh, that looks really cool. But you're not even close to having a car just by having the body on it. And then what I want to do on that one is we're going to take the body, flip it upside, weld all of the roll bar and connector points inside of it. Then I'm going to take the body off, and then I have real Lamborghini. I have molds that were made off of real Lamborghini parts, so they're highly detailed. They're closer to accurate for a Lamborghini. And so, I mean, the difference between certain parts is just night and day. But the kit car is easy to build, but putting the parts on it will make it where, like, the front fenders are separate from the firewall. And then I had bought those molds, and then I had put carbon fiber pieces in each one of those. So I want to take the carbon fiber piece, and those pieces are all going to be mounted on to the frame that I corrected with the Lamborghini kit car that I have. But I'm going to have to modify some of it because I still want to use a Nissan Maxima windshield. I mean, I don't want to try to get a real Lamborghini windshield. They're like $6,000. The other ones I can buy for like $250, and you turn them upside down. You have to trim them a little bit. But I want to make it so that it's going to run really good. I have automatic transmission for it. I have Fiero, 1988 Fiero front and rear end, which the suspension is all Lotus. So that was the last year the Fieros were made, and it's Lotus inspired suspension, so it's very, very good. And then what I want to do on that one is I probably will not use the automatic transmission, but I could. I do like automatic, but I may end up, I would like to put a Hayabusa motor into it. And so the Hayabusa motor would be a high revving motor, where most engines will rev like 3,000 to 5,000 RPMs. Hayabusa motor will rev up to 10,000 without hurting it. And it's like a 1300 cc, so it's not going to be super fast, but I don't need it fast. But it will have that sound, and it will be quicker than a than like say a V6 or something like that. So I have all the rims and everything to do that. That's something I really want to do, but it just all comes down to money and time. And I do have a whole set of Lambert DeLorean parts. So I have front fenders, I have rear quarter panels, I have 2 doors. I already started making one of the doors into fiberglass. I made a fiberglass mold, and then I made a fiberglass piece for it. Then I would get the body part straightened out in fiberglass, and then once I had it straightened out and primered, then I could make the final door. So I do a flash mold initially, which is a quick mold, and then I'll repair the parts which have to be repaired. It's easier to repair than fiberglass, rather than trying to repair stainless steel. And then I'm going to modify a donor car so that I can get all the DeLorean parts on it. And then I even have some of the parts to build out the Back to the Future, like the one part on the back of it, I forgot what they call it, but it's actually a coffee grinder, and I ended up getting one. I bought a lot of those parts so that I can use them to build my Back to the Future DeLorean. So I have those parts laying around, and hopefully I won't be in a situation where I have to sell everything I have, because I will not be able to get it again. So the van is first, and then after that we'll attack all these other projects. So just want to let you guys know where I'm at, where I'm going, and you can see the nightmare that's going on in my head. It's not really too bad this last couple of years, because I just haven't made any extra money, so I'm not putting a lot of money into my projects. But if this year turns out to be better, I do plan on getting through these projects, one at a time. So anyway, thanks for listening, and I appreciate your time, and I look forward to talking to you. Subscribe if you can, and that way we can stay together on this. Thank you much. Have a great day.